We all know that Bronny James is a story to be talking about, right? So we're going to get started with that right now.
Bronny is, first and foremost, a person of high character. And second, he is a young man that works incredibly hard. And those are the qualities we look for in drafting players and adding to our developmental core at the Lakers.
Obviously, having that James name is going to help, but at the end of the day, it's not going to keep him there.
I don't give a damn about him averaging less than 5 points. I don't care about his numbers or anything like that. You heard about his athleticism. You heard about his defensive prowess. You heard about the potential that he may have. We're not blind, however. We recognize the fact that if he were not LeBron James' son, in all likelihood, he would not have even been drafted. If he were not LeBron James' son, he damn sure would not have been drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Bronny James situation is worse than we thought. Much worse, man. He wasn't going to be anywhere close to LeBron Sr. But man, we hope for him to be NBA quality. And right now, it's not looking good, man. I gotta be perfectly honest. And if things continue the way they are, not even his dad can keep him in the NBA. And after what we've seen from him so far in the Summer League, is there any way for Bronny to be an average NBA player? Stick around to find out. Bronny James has played in a couple of Summer League games now, and as you probably know, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 1 block per game. He's yet to make a 3 as of the making of this video. 23% from the field, 0% from beyond the arc. Not great at all. LeBron James Jr. was never going to be his dad. He wasn't going to be anywhere close, and that comparison was unfair from the get-go. But eventually, what everyone hoped for. And to be fair, what Bronny looked like by the end of his senior year was for Bronny to be an athletic 3-and-D player. Well, he had the athleticism, of course, but the 3-ball that was in his game just disappeared. By the way, these aren't all, well-contested fadeaway 3s. These are good shots, wide-open shots. Shots that any respectable NBA player should be able to make, particularly an NBA player being touted as a 3-and-D role player. You'd think he'd be able to hit even like 1 or 2 of these, but no. 0 from 3 so far across 3 games. He scored just 15 points across 3 games. That's why things like this happen.
Trying to set up the drive. Cam Whitmore had the clamps out on that one. Reed Shepherd.
His defender can sag off him and help a bit to prevent middle penetration. Bronny's offense has truly not been there, man. He scored some layups here and there, but he's had a ton of blunders.
Bronny so far in the ball game, 1 of 3 from the field. Got picked by Williams. And getting much more comfortable game after game after game. Bronny James' float game is a little bit short.
That's, unfortunately, in just their last game against the Rockets, where Dalton Nett absolutely outshone him. Unfortunately, we heard way more about Bronny's lowlights than Dalton's highlights. He can't really play point as of now either.
Beautiful story, as a walk-on and then, as a senior, a captain.
Any decent point guard would have seen the bounce pass to a very capable Colin Castleton there, because he had both his man and the big on him. But Bronny decides to float it up against the big man, very much contested, clank.
Wow.
But anyway, offensive blunders are okay, I guess, since this is the Summer League. Wemby himself also scored just 9 points in his debut Summer League game. But maybe if we get some good defense, hey, that'd be fine, right? But no, Bronny wasn't that good defensively either. He was okay one-on-one, but his team defense has been shockingly bad, particularly in pick-and-roll situations.
Lakers back up, pull in.
Their defensive choice in the pick and roll has been drop coverage, with the Lakers' big man dropping back. However, Bronny's supposed to fight through the screen in order to force the offensive player to drive into the drop. Unfortunately, he also goes under the screen, leaving offensive players wide open. Here, Bronny didn't know who his man was and collided with his own teammate. He was extremely late and had to close out hard. Of course, the offensive player simply attacks the closeout. Simple drop pass. Bucket. Here, he doesn't really commit to the press. Leaves enough space for his man to explode, he gambles and gets left behind. And it's an open 3. Here, in transition, he doesn't commit. Either guard the paint or guard the shooter. He stays kind of in the middle ground, leaving his teammates confused and leaving the paint open for an easy score. And this. Shepherd slows down and he overcommits to the left, expecting a screen, which leaves a much easier path to the basket. Worse, he doesn't slide his feet. He turns around, which guaranteed that he got blown past. Again, just from the game against the Rockets. Look, if a 3-and-D guy's shots aren't falling, he best look for ways to be more impactful, particularly on the defensive side. But Bronny doesn't even have that in his locker yet either. He's been pretty terrible defensively. Okay, given his matchup was Ben Shepherd for a lot of that Rockets game, but still, as a player, his main draw is his athleticism and defense. But we haven't seen a very good defense from him. Hell, even hustle would have been good. He's a 55th overall pick who still should be fighting for that roster spot, but he doesn't really play hard either. Like, say, a Pat Beverly. Here, look. After leaving his man open in the corner, this is an okay defensive strategy. Clog up the paint and close out the shooters. However, he doesn't close out hard. It's just a half-hearted jog to his man. Open three, cash. Here, he tries to gamble again, fail miserably, then half-heartedly runs back. He then loses his man rotating to the wing. Look at him, not guarding anymore. He just gets dropped here, but he fails to stand up right away, and he doesn't rush at all to get inside when he saw the missed layup. See, when your offense doesn't work and you're struggling to influence the game, hustle is the one thing that you can 100% give to your team. Again, considering that this is a 55th overall pick fighting for a roster spot, okay, he's probably still getting a roster spot. Rather, this is a guy who's proving his worth to everyone, that he didn't get into the Lakers because his dad is the best player, and his dad's best friend and podcast co-host is the coach. At least he's supposed to be proving his worth, but what have we seen so far? A few good plays, athletic dunk, some layups, but there have been way more negatives. He's pretty much being ignored on the offense by both the defending team and his own team, relegated to standing in the corner to space the floor. Unfortunately, he doesn't space the floor because, again, he's been laying eggs from beyond the arc so far, and he's been pretty bad defensively. He's supposed to be genetically superior in his athleticism, but we've only seen slow lateral speed and blow-bys so far. Most damning of all, he doesn't hustle. Again, this is a huge negative, even bigger than his offensive struggles. Even if he gets beat defensively, hustle is something that he should be giving 110% because of his struggles, but also because he's gotta be proving to everyone that it's not just a Nepo pick. I'm just very disappointed to say that we haven't seen that at all. It's not totally hopeless, of course. He's a young player with a lot of potential still. He's still got that James athleticism, though the basketball IQ remains to be seen. Number one thing he's gotta improve right away, and what he can improve the fastest in, is hustle. Just run back as fast as he can, close out hard when necessary, fight for loose balls, box out every single time, constantly rotating to keep spacing the defense, and no half-assed efforts. Something else he can do is to just watch more film, memorize defensive schemes so he doesn't get lost. This might take a longer time, but it's something that he really has to work on to be viable, especially when his shot isn't falling. He's also got to get used to shooting NBA threes, but that really comes with more reps. And most young players have terrible efficiencies early on, especially in the summer league. So yes, there's still hope for Bronny to become a GP2 or a Gerald Green type player, but there's a lot of work to be done. Didn't really expect much, but it's still been a very, very disappointing showing so far. And if he still doesn't improve even a little bit soon, especially his hustle, this Bronny James situation will become much, much worse than we've thought.